Hi y'all, Tracy with Trials of a Long-Haired Girl here. It is Saturday. I have to tell you, I was not really sure what to expect with this weigh-in. Pardon me, let me get a drink. It is the time of year for allergies. For me, anyway. So, I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday. I had, as my husband pointed out to me a minute ago, not one but two Christmas dinners. Our Christmas day was relatively quiet, just us here at home. I fixed my grandmother's dressing, and we had some turkey and some ham and candy for dessert that I had finished making on Christmas Eve. I had one piece of candy. P.S. Learned my lesson about randomly grabbing candy and then looking for how many points it is after. Somebody brought their leftover Lindor chocolates to the office, and I had one before I thought about it when I was trying to stay on plan on Thursday. 4 points. 4 points for this teeny tiny ball of chocolate. Won't do that again. So for those of you who are part of Robbie's group on Facebook, you will have seen that yesterday my bosses, I believe I've mentioned this before, my bosses are kind enough to buy us lunches on Friday. They bring in lunch for us most every Friday. This week, my boss had mentioned Jason's Deli. I love Jason's Deli, and ordinarily when I get Jason's Deli, or when we order from Jason's Deli, I order a quarter of muffaletta because it's one of my favorite things. But as I was sitting there pondering my decision and looking, at Weight Watchers, trying to figure out what the points would be because I was tracking. I wanted to make sure that I tracked. I was like, can I have? How many points? If I decide to have a muffaletta, which, I kind of ordinarily allow myself that freedom on Fridays because most weeks I have been on plan the majority of the week, but I was not this week because Christmas. And I thought, you know what? Let me look at the points for a muffaletta. So I looked up the points for a quarter of a muffaletta. 14 points for the turkey, 15 points for the ham. And I thought, well, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to get the ham because it's my favorite. And then I got to thinking, that feels really heavy. Maybe I should not have a muffaletta. So I started looking at other options and kind of what I thought might be filling and tasty. So I went with the grilled chicken panini. I think the grilled chicken pesto panini. I think that's what it's called. Anyway, it has spinach and pesto and garlic aioli, I think. I don't remember. Anyway, but it was very good. And I had that with a side of fruit without the fruit dip. And that was enough. That was filling for me. I was full. I was satisfied all afternoon. I didn't get hungry. I had moments of mouth hunger. I think that's what they call it, where, you feel like you should eat something, but you're not truly hungry. I had some moments of that, and almost to the point that I got a tea, but I talked myself out of it. So apparently not indulging or overly indulging in the candy has helped tremendously. Last week, as you may recall, I gained, and I was at 173.4. This week, after 2 Christmas dinners and not really working out, might I add, I'm down 2.2. How did that happen? I don't know. My husband says it's a Christmas miracle. Honestly, I'm not quite sure what happened here, but what I can say is that this is the lowest that I have been in my married life. I was looking back at it, and when I got close was a month ago when I was at 171.4, and I'm actually down further than that now, so that makes my weight loss 34.5 pounds. Y'all, I'm almost halfway to my goal. Yeah, 36.2 pounds, and I will be at goal. Wow, that's some food for thought. So, yeah, that just happened. You know, a couple of things that I had not thought about this year, but things that my husband and I were kind of talking about. Every year we go to our younger kids, we go to their grandparents' Christmas gathering. I look forward to it every year. I get an omelet every year. And this year, quite honestly, I did not overindulge, like to an extreme. I had an omelet, which I focused more on the vegetables, but I did have some ham in there, and there was cheese. I had some hash browns, and I had fruit. That was my first plate. Then I had dessert, which I didn't eat all of. I shared that with my husband. I ate a few bites until I was satisfied, or actually I was kind of feeling miserable. And then I handed the plate off to my husband and said, here. Oh, and I did have a few bites of his roasted Brussels sprouts, which were very tasty. But yeah, I don't really feel like I overindulged. And then, you know, I had had a 0 point breakfast, or close to 0 points. I think it may have been one or two, because I had coffee. But that, you know, that was it. And then I had some snacks, I think, on Sunday evening, because I got the munchies. But yeah, overall, I really don't think that I did poorly over the holiday season, which is kind of shocking to me, because last year I overindulged on the candy. But yeah, I feel like this was a positive holiday season for me. I paid attention, which I think is something that I would not have done had I not been focusing on Weight Watchers earlier in the year. I would not have focused on how I was feeling, if I was feeling full or if I was feeling stuffed. I don't think I would have thought about that earlier in the year, and I don't remember thinking about that last year. So I think that's a positive. I had intended to look to see where I was this time last year, and honestly, I don't know that I have that book. Yeah, I do not. I had hit into the 170s in July of this year, but just barely. And then I seemed to fluctuate again after that. So, you know, it's been a bit of a struggle this year. Getting my mind where I needed to get it. But honestly, I said this a month-ish ago when I hit it before. But I think this is the lowest weight I have been in my married life. So that's pretty cool, I think. This week, which I'm sure you've probably heard from several people already, the weekly is your Holiday Thrive Guide. Because we know it is definitely a busy time of year for many people. Fit an activity by grabbing faraway parking spot or walking while making calls. Or schedule a brisk jog with a family member to sweat off tension. I wish I had done more of that. I'm proud of Robbie that he did get out and get some walks in. Embrace the joy of missing out. RSVP yes to the parties that mean the most to you and send a thoughtful note to the ones that you skip. Which makes sense because you don't want to just be rude and not show up. Get ready with a friend for your next holiday party and then let the music and dance breaks flow. Take 20 minutes before bed for a warm bath or yoga. I think that definitely falls into the self-care category. If you have overnight guests, take a half hour alone to recharge. They'll appreciate the break too. All of these I think are beneficial. And then there is a recipe for sweet heat chocolate discs. Semi-sweet chocolate chips in a microwave bowl. Microwave about 90 seconds, stopping to stir every 15 seconds until melted. Spoon onto a prepared baking sheet into 8 even rounds. Sounds interesting. 2 points for all plans. Anyway, I will see y'all on Monday for meal planning. I hope everybody has a great day. Thanks so much for watching.